Hello everyone, this is not a paid video. Actually, I should probably start saying that so I don't get anything on YouTube. So, this is not a paid video. I don't own any of the pictures. And if you hear anything in the background that is music related, video related, or any such related to any such topic to videos, I do not own it or anything like that. Just my parents watching TV. Or some sort of movie or series. I don't know. Though it is comedy based, so yeah. So, this is going to be what if Bell was a samurai. Things to note. Yes, he doesn't have his arm in this picture. 2. Those two swords, the blue and gold sword, he does not have those. It's just I prefer the picture of the character. Also, this is not a mechanical arm like Tech. It's basically Hajime's arm. The Hajime that basically lost his arm to a bear. And became the most overpowered person in the entire lands of that series. So yeah, it's magical. It's magically powered. And if he is a samurai, what does he have as his sword? Well, this is his sword. I know this is not the particular sword from a Bell and stuff like that. Though you have to say, this is probably a gun-powered sword. Or at least you can press the trigger down and it would launch. With it just being a regular sword after that. So, yeah. And if you're saying they really don't have gunpowder, or some sort of very old flint-knock pistols, or flint-knock rifles, I really doubt that. They probably do have them, it's just not a thing that always happens. Because seeing if you were to put a flint-knock pistol into a dungeon, versus a sword, the sword would probably win. So this uses gunpowder to more or less accelerate the sword for a quicker release. So yeah, let's get into the story. Also, these two swords might come in and out, or might be in a next episode, who knows, if this does get popular enough. Alright, let's get into the story. Actually, also, you know what, I'll just say this one last thing. Congrats of whoever made this. It is a very good what if. So, we have Deku, more or less, not Deku, I've been doing Deku's what if for a long time now. And I have to realize, this is a Bell. We have Bell walking into a city, wearing the same clothing that you do see in this picture. It more or less drawing a little bit of attention to him, because, he is more or less having a mechanical, as they think, metal arm as a hand, or having a metal hand is weird. And it's very not well seen to the world. Yes, there has been several other people that have had metal arms in the past and still present, though it's not a, thing that happens a lot. With the weapon he is having, and it's being that. And it's being, if you see the two swords aren't there. It's that sword, or that samurai sword. To be more or less understanding to you guys, so you know what's going on. And you do have several people looking at Bell ignoring them, and going off. And yes, Bell does more or less look like this picture with the black hair, and I believe orange eyes, from the looks of it. Though that hairstyle might change. So, yeah. Bell is more or less walking to the registration area. Him getting more or less registered, and with a separate person that wasn't the person that Bell got registered by, from that lady. So, yeah. And you do have him coming out. The person that registered him just stating you should probably stick to the lower levels, as in the first two levels. Deku just saying, alright, I'll see what I can do. Him more or less with him having spare change and buying a bag. Because he's heard some stories that you need some sort of way to hold some of the crystals that you do get in a dungeon. Also, now to explain some of his backstory. While he walks into the dungeon, when Deku was very young, his family got killed by mercenaries, and his family was a more or less Japan, were basically from Japan, and that is more or less a big city in that area. Japan fell a long time ago, though Deku still was young enough to remember it. And yes, whenever he does come across a mercenary, mercenary, you gotta book it. Yes, he won't kill them instantly, and if he does have to make a deal with them, he will. Though if they just piss him off just pissing him off, that won't do. So yeah. Or if they just start something up, he'll just lice them off. With Deku walking into the dungeon, and, well, seeing a pretty low-level monster. It is what should I put? It's basically a skeleton with a sword. Deku, getting in a position of a samurai, getting one hand on his sheath to the trigger, and his other hand on the sword. Deku launching and clicking the trigger. His sword ejects with his hand, and he does make a upward slash. More or less, if you have seen a skeleton, think of it more or less as the blade hit his more or less chest, or where your organs would be. Then it just goes through that and cuts up. And basically the head comes off with a cracking. In that head, what is that? What is the animation? It like puffing, I don't know what to say. With that black smoke coming off of it, or that, what would I call it? It's kind of like when monsters do die fully, it kind of like they disappear in a weird black smoke. It basically giving him a small crystal. Him picking up the one single crystal and thinking that was too easy. With that level just being those skeletons. Him having to face a little more of those, though going down to the level 8. Still thinking it's fairly easy. With it though, his bag is slightly getting heavier and he can actually feel it. Him looking at his bag and it's almost topped off. Him more or less just going down one more level and topping it off. Going back off and dealing with anything that came at him and leaving. Him going back to his registration, or the registration area, or where you hand in your crystals. Him pulling his bag out and asking for his bag back. The person taking the bag and taking it and examining the crystals and giving him a small bit of cash. And Deku looks at it and just grabs it. Him just saying, so, I'm gonna have to get better at this. And yes, you are asking, why can he only go to level 9? He can go deeper, it's just more or less he won't have enough money. So it's basically his bag's fault, seeing he didn't have enough money. For the next passing week, Deku would try to get different familias, such as, though even trying to get the Hestia Familia. She turns him down, for some odd reason. He doesn't even know. She doesn't even have familias, or a familia member. So it's completely babbling to him that she didn't pick him. So she does, and he finally gets to a family that is named the Loki Familia. Loki seeing this figure with the metal arm. Her being curious and actually letting him in. Also, sorry if you see those notifications. With Deku coming in and seeing different people looking in different places and seeing the cafeteria, seeing different people. With the dog boy, I actually don't know his name. I think his name's not Drake. It starts with a B. You know what? I'll recon it to be his name is Drake. And I know you're all going to be saying, oh, but his name's this. I don't know it at the time. I really don't know it right now. So, yeah. When I find his name out, I'll just call him by that. Though, for now, the silver The silver dog boy is that. Also, his new name is now Drake. With Drake coming across Deku, and Deku is realizing, oh brother, this guy is going to be more or less one of those. Him before he can finish that sentence, with him just saying, "Oh, are you a new member?" Deku saying, "I'm just trying out." Him just saying, "Well, you shouldn't. The Loki Familia is only for the strongest people." With Deku just saying, "Oh," and him looking down and Deku seeing the metal arm, and him just saying, "Which means you shouldn't have gotten a chopped off limb." Deku's saying, "Sorry, my family," getting a little more aggravated. "My family died, and this was the cause of it. And my family died from a mercenary, and my arm got cut off in the process. So I'm sorry if I was not strong enough when I was 5 years old." The guy's shutting up, and everyone looking at Drake, with Drake just saying sorry and going off. Him sighing with Loki apologizing for Drake. Him saying it's fine, and if she would like to see his more or less skills. Her just saying, "No, I probably already know your skills. I've seen different samurais fight, and I know how skillful they are. And they are actually honor bound. So, you are actually a good person, right?" Dick was saying, "I try to be most of the time. Though if an asshole does come along and treats me with disrespect," with Loki finishing that sentence, "you put him down or something?" Dick was saying, "I teach him a lesson. Though sometimes, yes, I do put them down." So yes, Bell has, killed. Though, no, not a lot. Though he doesn't really care if he kills or not. It's more or less in his mind is, if a mercenary does try to kill him, he has full authorization to kill him. So yeah, it basically works in his head, works both ways. So yeah, Loki just looking at him and seeing how combat he looks. With that big sword, or the sword, that's right there. Her looking at it and saying, "What's that?" Dagger saying, "It's a sword that I made, and it uses gunpowder to quicken the blade's release, so I can get a more faster release." Well, they're just saying, "Alright, just don't, kill anyone with that thing." Deku chuckling, just saying, "No, I wouldn't. Don't worry, I won't." Loki just saying, "Alright, you're in." Deku's just saying, "Oh, so no test or physical exam or anything like that?" Well, Loki just saying, "No, honestly, your city was destroyed for a reason, for how well your people fought, and for those mercenaries just to come in by and destroy it all." With Deku saying, "If I ever do find that guy, I'm gonna kill him." Loki's just saying, "And you have my full authority to do so." Deku saying, "Thanks." But Loki just asking his name, or Loki just asking him what's his full name. Deku saying, "My name is Bell Cornell. My father was the prince of the whole nation, of the castle, though his brother was the king." Loki realizing, oh, he's royalty, and everyone else realizing he's also royalty. With you do have some people bowing, seeing as royalty. Deku saying no, with him just saying, going to that person, just saying, "No, I'm not royalty anymore, and I've earned no one's respect here. So please do not bow. I haven't earned that. I have not earned that, nor do I ever want to. If anything, I would like to lead by example when I do go into battle." So more or less like Anakin Skywalker leading to battle. With Loki just saying, "Alright," and pointing upstairs to say, whatever room's free. I had to, thinking of that incident one time, just saying I had to, kick some people out of Familia because they were, being rude and disrespectful to the other people. So you can just go into one of their rooms, stating their area is more or less to the left. Deku more or less looking through the rooms and seeing the biggest room. Deku sitting up, putting his sword and fixing his bed, and taking his backpack off, with his backpack containing some moving supplies, and different things, and a picture of his family when he was younger, at least. With you do have several people wanting to see the new member, Loki is just saying, wait until he comes down to have some food, and then you can bombard him with questions for how long you guys last for. With Drake just saying why. Is he that skillful? Loki just saying yes, he actually is. Where he comes from, their warriors, their people are very honor bound and strict. They have a very skillful swordsmanship, and one soldier could take on at least 5 adventurers, and he wouldn't even have to, and if he was skilled enough, he would basically come on stretch. That scaring some of the people. Yes, Deku is not the most skillful and most high-ranking swordsmanship user with a samurai sword, and he even knows this. Though he's still damn good with a sword, and he could probably take on anyone that's in the Loki Familia, or at least the low to medium people that are in there. Though probably not the more high-ranking, such as Eyes and other people. Though he would basically he would eventually lose to a high class, though he would put up a damn well good fight, not wanting to lose for a technicality and stuff like that. With Deku putting away some stuff, another blade, though it's more or less more like a combat knife that he does use to cut stuff with. It's not the blue sword you do see in this. It's just, a regular blade. It's black, yes. So, yeah, be creative what kind of combat blade you want. With Deku, more or less, taking his sword and putting it to the side with his red cloak, and putting it down on a little stand. Going down to what he looks like now. Everyone can see his, robotic arm, his glove, some, scars on his body, though he's wearing his black suit with that little red pouch or waist holder for his side. Though it's not holding anything, just a combat knife in the back. Though Deku more or less doesn't fully know everyone there, he's always wanting to be prepared, so he more or less just keeps a knife on him at all times. So Loki just remarking, just saying, what is with you samurai with weapons? Deku saying, sorry. You gotta be prepared for anything. And going towards everyone else. Him before even getting in, basically getting barraged by questions with the Amazonian 2 girls. One of them asking if he's actually royalty and what's his name, and Deku just saying, calm down. Yes, I am royalty, though I am from the side branch I am the prince's son from the side branch. So, also, yes, I am a samurai, and him just stating, and I've killed several monsters, and have grown a reputation as the Red Devil. That's somewhat starting to scare the lower members, because the Red Devil has killed, and is a very powerful person, or so the name goes. Though in truth, Deku is just more or less, if someone pisses him off, or just starts a fight, that's not going to end well for them. With Deku just going off and, to have lunch. Because when he came in, it was more or less 10, and people started to come to have lunch. Though Deku came and actually sees several other people, as in Drake, Eyes, the Amazonian girls, and the captain of the Loki Familia. Deku asking if he may sit. The captain just saying, sure, why not? I'd rather get to know you, seeing you are a new member. Deku just saying thank you, and going down. And, him looking at the robotic arm, saying, "So, how'd you get that?" But Deku just saying, "Well, when Japan did more or less fall apart, my father tried protecting me and my mother, though he died honorably with a sword in his chest, and my mother died sadly, and I was greatly injured. And if it wasn't for the person that saved me, or if it wasn't for a civilian that saved me at the time, I would have died." Saying, with there's with a medical officer saving me, though he ended up dying and I escaped. So yeah, them and these scars are more or less from all the fighting I've done from then and now. And there's several other scars behind my black clothing. With them being very shocked and slightly concerned, or not concerned, just being surprised. With him just saying, "Oh, sorry for bringing your family up. Family issues can be hard sometimes." I just saying, "I know that from experience." Her just saying, "My father died from a dragon and I saw it happen." So, him just saying, "Oh, sorry for your loss." Her saying it's fine, and well, what is that word? I've agreed and I've accepted the fact that he's dead. So, her saying, "Yeah." Deku just saying, "Oh, alright." Well, you do have the Amazonian girls wanting to have Deku, more or less, come with them. You do have Deku just saying, "So, are you guys going out to the dentist tomorrow?" The Amazonian girl's just saying yes, and he wants to come. Deku saying, "Are you sure? I was just wondering." Them just saying it's fine, and Deku saying, "Alright, I'll come with." Also, Deku's level 1 class he has, speed is a level A, durability is a level B, and everything else is a B for my own sake. The only reason why he's A in, speed is he is a samurai and he needs very quick reflexes. Also, you know what? His reflex skill, or his reflex rank in his stats is an A2. Or an S+. Actually, you know what? It's an S+. So, yeah. With Deku just saying, "Alright, I'll come tomorrow." With him just saying, though, I have to get my leveling thing, or my little crest for you guys tonight. With him doing that night, and yeah. Also, for any of you guys think it's a Loki ship, saying it now, it's not. It's not an ice. So you guys better start thinking. Who knows? Freya, some else person. Who knows? Maybe I'll just add someone in as a character. Who knows? With them, but Deku just getting his ranking done, and her saying impressive for your level 1 ranking. Deku saying thank you, and him asking what they are. Loki just getting off and passing that paper. Him looking at his ranking and saying, "Not bad. Though my other stuff has to get better." Loki just stating, "It gets better over time for things you do. So say you got hit by a monster, your durability would, and after you heal actually, with her just saying after that, your durability would actually get better." Deku just saying, "Oh, alright." And goes to sleep that night, having a nightmare of his family dying. Him waking up in the middle of the night, and going to the cafeteria, grabbing a drink of water, and going to his room. With a white-haired woman seeing all this through a magical ball. And her thinking, interesting. He still remembers his past. And it still haunts him to this day. Also, yes, this is Freya. Though, yeah, also she's not the cause of the mercenaries and all that crap. So, yeah. And her going after that, Freya just leaves it be, and because she was curious of, the Red Samurai, or the Red Devil is in town, and joined the Loki Familia. Though she is slightly sad because she wanted him in her Familia, though more or less Loki got to her first, or he went to Loki's Familia first. And then he would go to the Freya, though he never went there because he's in the Loki Familia. But the next day, Deku goes out and buys, or because they do end up leaving at the afternoon and being down there for about 2 days. So that morning, Deku goes out and to the upper levels of the dungeon and to the basically store area and goes and buys a backpack, a separate backpack that I can just use to hold relics in or the crystals in. So him going back and getting his gear ready, and him putting his whole get up on, and getting his sword on and making sure it's very sharp. You do have him just sharpening his sword while waiting for everyone else in the front. Eyes coming down and hearing shing, shing, shing. Deku with a stone, just staying so. You ready? Him getting to it, putting that stone into a black pouch. With her saying, "Are you trying to sharpen your blade?" Him saying yes is slightly dulling. Her saying, "Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Those things are crazy sharp." Deku laughing and just saying, "Yeah, they're only that sharp because we always take care of them and sharpen them like no one's business." With her just saying, "Oh, alright." Not, thinking much of it and leaving it be. Because it's basically just a sword. So, with Drake and the girls, with the Amazonian twins coming down and trying to bombard Deku with Bell with more questions. Him trying to answer them to the best of his ability, or if it ever gets too touchy, he just says no. It's a little touchy. So yeah, them getting to the dungeon, and Deku doesn't even take his sword out, just keeps walking. The Amazonian girls do ask him why isn't he taking his weapon out. It's dangerous now. Him just saying, dangerous you say. With a level 1 skeleton with him looking back and putting his, actually you know what, I'm going to do a badass scene now, I can't explain. With the Amazonian girls just more or less asking, why doesn't he have a sword out? It's very dangerous. Deku saying, I only take my sword out when I'm attacking. And I don't see anything attacking me. With Yudo have eyes just saying, watch out, and trying to rush Deku. Deku realizing, oh, there's someone behind me. Takes his sword, clicks the trigger, launches it, and cuts the thing's head off. It falling and going poof. Him picking up the crystal and him basically doing the most badass sheath, and him just saying, I can take care of my own. Don't worry. I was just saying, that's gonna kill you one day. Deku shrugging his shoulders, just saying, if it kills me, I don't care. That's the way of the samurai. So, with eyes just, face palming and saying, alright, whatever. And Deku has a feeling that he's being watched, though he doesn't know what's going on. Though he just keeps this to himself and thinks it's just some random monster stalking him. So, which he does look for, and never finds. Though once he does leave the dungeon, after the 2-day span, he does more or less go to the registration and pays, getting a larger sum of money. Why, you might ask? Well, with all 4 of them, they more or less piled all their crystals up, and they all split it 25% each. I think. Actually, no, they split it all fairly between all 5 of them. And Deku was more or less, actually sorry for that, was more or less did probably a pretty good job. Getting a little more than the 2 Amazonians girls, because they more or less share their own profits. Though Drake and Isaac get more than him. So, yeah. Though when they come out, they get ready, or they at least, with, them coming out and Deku with some blood on his shirt. Him just looking down and saying that's gonna need to be washed off. They're not per se clean, so they are reeking of sweat, blood of their enemies, and yeah, let us sweat and blood. With them cashing in and yeah, what I just explained, and goes off to the Loki Familia. Them all showering up and realizing it's the festival day. And the whole thing of them watching the festival, or the festival happening, Deku does go there though with a combat blade still. Actually, you know what? He more or less, they're actually low on military people at that a certain area, and he just volunteers to be a helping hand. And I'm just saying, alright, and asking if they're gonna pay. If what's he want? Him just saying, just pay me 50 gold. Alright, at least $50 in Damanchi currency, and that should be fine. Then I'm just saying, oh, just that? Alright. And the whole attack does happen. Deku with his samurai sword decapitating or just killing those beasts off. And well, yeah. With the final beast, the white silverback, I think it was, Deku having a more easier time, cuts its fingers off, it screams out. With Loki and Eyes watching the background, because they're wanting to see Deku's skill up close and personal. Because Loki can't really go into the dungeons. And she has no magical orb to see what's going on. So yeah. Though, yeah, Deku proceeds to beat the living shit out of that gorilla. The white silverback. So yeah. And he does look back and looks at Eyes and stuff. And asking if they're okay. Eyes just said, Loki just says she's fine, and Eyes just saying, I'm fine, and I was coming here to take out that thing. Pointing to the dead corpse of the white silverback. Not Deku, Bella just saying, sorry, I killed it. Eyes just saying, no, it's fine. And more or less just going out, with them going back to the family. Though, in the middle of the night, Deku gets a nightmare again, and proceeds and leaves the Loki Familia residence, going to a off area of the castle or the town, and goes to a little far away, at least 8 days away. The next day, they're kind of more or less looking for where Deku is, with them realizing, and with Deku writing a note actually, stating he has to go out and do some business that he has to take care of. Him saying sorry and with it having a $50 worth of currency with Damanchi saying, also, if my story doesn't smoothen the deal, here you go. With Loki just taking it and just saying, alright, that's fine now. Drake just facepalming, just saying, so he pays you money and he can go. Loki's just saying, he said he'll be back, and this is for, currency so he can go. And yeah, he's more or less curious of where he goes. Her just asking if she can go find him and bring him back. Loki's just saying, we'll do whatever you want, though I really don't care. Eyes more or less setting up getting her gear on and with a cloak, leaving the area. With Deku on a, horse and trotting along. While Ice is literally, actually, you know what? Ice has her own horse, and she is more or less going to find Deku. At this point, Deku is there, though he's going to be there for a little long, because it was a day trip, and he more or less has a 2 hour, advantage over Eyes. So Eyes will be there in the next hour, because, she wants to get there faster, so yeah. With her getting there and just seeing the, castle, you could say, or a samurai temple, with Deku being there, or at least doing the, Japanese way of honoring their dead. Having a bird's, feather to represent them, the person, and the little smoke, I honestly don't know what they're called. Those little black smoke things that smoke. Or those little black things that smoke. Like, it's how, if you ever seen the Overwatch, how Genji, or Hanzo was respecting Genji's death, he was basically putting that and two people, and him praying. With Deku just saying, I know you're there, Ice. Why don't you follow me? I just saying, oh, sorry everyone if that was a loud noise when my phone fell. I was holding on top of my bed, and I don't know if that was loud for you. Sorry. With I just saying, well, I wanted to see where you were going, and Loki didn't care, so I just came. With he was just saying, I came to honor my parents' graves. I do it once every month to honor the dead. It's a tradition. With I just saying sorry, and you can with Bell just saying no, it's fine, I finished, and cleaning his with him just cleaning up what he did, and getting on his black horse and just stating so why don't you actually follow me? I just saying I was curious of where you were going, and him just saying alright, whatever, and just saying alright, keep up, Ice. Ice immediately getting onto her horse, and well, just what is the word? Or just trying to speed it up and them racing. Instead of one full day taking them there, it took them about 5 hours. Why? Well, they're more or less just racing as fast as they could back, with their horses being exhausted after that, with them both letting their horses rest, and yeah. By this time, it's the middle of the next day. Ice wondering, or Loki just asking where was he. Deku with Ice just saying he was honoring his parents' graves, and Loki just thinking that's a actual really good excuse, and she just says, oh, alright. With her just saying, just tell me next time if you're gonna go out and do that. Belle just says, alright, I will. And so, did you take that money I put down? Her just saying yes, and him just saying, oh, alright. Going to his room and, sharpening his sword. Though he can't shake the feeling that someone is watching him. Him that next night, Orless goes out and, very secretly, and goes to find that person. That person being on a rooftop, with a hood over the figures, and he can definitely tell it's a woman. Him asking if that woman is falling and watching him. But the figure just saying, oh, that's no way to talk to a god. Deku just saying, and what proof do I have of you as a god? Her revealing to be, what's her name? Freya, and, Deku just bowing and saying, sorry, I didn't know it was you. Freya just saying, get up, you had no idea it was me. And I really don't even, and her just saying, I really don't really like people bowing to me, and it's very annoying. Deku getting up and just saying, I know the feeling. When I was younger and 5, I never really let anyone bow to me, seeing I always thought it was disrespectful. And I didn't like people treating me like a god all the time. Deku saying something like that. I was the prince, or the son's prince, the son of the prince of where I was from. Her saying, so, you're basically royalty? Deku saying, I'm former royalty. Though, if it makes you feel better, yes, I'm royalty. Her just being, oh, alright. And Deku coming next to her and just asking if she was the person that kept watching him. Or was she that thing he was sensing that was kept watching him. Her just admitting, that was me, and asking if he is, Freya's gonna be more upfront and not as secretive in this what-if. Asking if he is, what is a good way to say this? If he is have any interest in life. Deku saying, I am a adventurer now, because I want to more or less do something so I wouldn't just stay put and want to do something. Stating it gives him just saying more reasons of why he wanted to be an adventurer. I's realizing, he's actually doing it for fun and adventures, which is basically what an adventurer should do. Though some people just do it for fame and glory, while he does it for the actual meaning. what it means to be an adventurer, to adventure beyond, and to be adventure into the dungeons below. So yeah, and you do more or less have Deku. No, I'm so stupid. Belle just going off and asking if she wants to grab a bite to eat. Her agreeing and putting her hood back up, and her sis stating, "It's probably best if I do put my hood up." With Belle saying, if you're more open, people might not have think you as so secretive. Her chuckling at that, just saying, maybe. Though, being a god is not always fun in games. Deku just saying, yeah, I can understand that. For asking how many years has she been leader of a Familia. Her just saying, 2,000 years. Deku sighing and saying, that must not be easy. Her actually saying, yeah, it's not. Just seeing people die of old age and you are able to live forever. Deku saying that's no way to live. And you should actually find someone that makes you happy for the rest of your life. Who knows? And him actually in a sarcastic voice saying, who knows? You might lose your immortality and living like a normal person. We're chuckling at that, just saying, oh, you're right. What if I do lose my immortality and I have to deal with you? Deku just remarking and just saying, oh, come on. I'm not that hard to deal with. I'm kind, I'm brave. I can be foolish sometimes. Overconfident, yes. And I was just saying, no, you're not that overconfident. You know your abilities pretty well. Deku saying, yeah, I guess so. The one time I more or less tried decapitating a monster and got flown into 3 buildings the previous day, or at least the 2 days before. With her saying, oh, so that was that big hole. Deku saying, yeah, that was me. Her just chuckling at that and just asking if he wants to go on more. What's the right word? Asking if he wants to talk more, or at least Deku saying I probably shouldn't. It's gonna be day soon. If I don't get enough sleep, I'm gonna not be able to do anything tomorrow. Her just saying, yes, you mortals are so fragile, and more or less scruffing up his hair. Him saying, hey, my hair, and her walking off, just saying, all right, let's go, let's do this again. Him saying, sure, where do you want to go? Her just stating a bar and just saying, it's with him just saying, all right, it's a date. Her blushing and just saying, what? Before she can look back and see, she doesn't even see Deku. Belle. And yeah. With him just going off on a rooftop and going to his bed. Sleeping for the next 6 hours. Him waking up very groggy and just saying I shouldn't have stayed up. With him getting up in a slumpy position. Going downstairs to get breakfast and realizes he actually woke up a little early. Him realizing he has another hour. Him just with an emoji crying face just saying, I could have slept for another hour. And yeah. Him actually making food for himself and going off. And making some breakfast for himself before the cooks come, because, you have all that money and you don't think someone could cook for you? Yeah. And him with the cook just saying, who touched my stuff? 2 minutes later, and he yelled, so which woke everyone up, though Bella's more like, don't say a single word. Him looking at everyone and he knows what Belle made. And it was actually very good, and he wants to know. Though he's being over dramatic. Him getting to Belle and thinking you did it. Loki just laughing and just saying he did it. A samurai can cook. Deku just saying, how the hell did you find that out? Him just saying, none of these people know how to actually cook food. And from the looks of it, your hair particles went everywhere. Deku just remarking, just saying, how in the hell does my hair particles reveal who I am? Him just saying, you were there. Also, what did you make? It smelled very good. him saying I made some pork with eggs and some orange juice on the side. Him just saying, you know what? Would you like to be a chef? Deku saying, no, not really. I'm an adventurer. Him saying, no, you are a chef now. Deku saying, no, I'm an adventurer. And them basically going to a big argument of, I'm a chef, I'm an adventurer, I'm a chef, and I'm an adventurer. To the point of Loki cutting it off and just saying he's an adventurer and he's not a chef. The guy more or less pouting and saying, come on, Loki. He is a very good cook. Him saying, well, I had to be a good cook. Saying I lived on my own for most of my life. For the most of my life. Him saying, oh, who taught you? Him saying, my mother taught me some recipes before she died. And him just saying, sorry for bringing it up. Deku saying, no, it's fine. It's just more or less, it's just good food, so, Him, with him asking, though, him going off and just saying, if you ever do need a spare hand, just ask. With that, Deku more or less goes back to his bed and takes a nap. With everyone wondering why he's taking a nap in the middle of the morning. And waking up in the middle of the day and going out to the dungeon. And doing it solo, so he only goes to level 15 and gets an actual lot of crystals, and he does cash in and that. Actually, I think we're going to leave that off for that today. So, everyone have a good day, a good life, and wear a mask. Goodbye.